audiences worldwide. And Will Smith played the starring role. Remember, friends, it's not where you start out that counts, but where you end up. Success is your birthright.
You are listening into the Bishop of Motivation, Mr. Spence Finlayson, and Success is Your Birthright. And of course, you can join Spence each and every weekday at 9 o'clock in the morning, right here on the ZNS Radio and Television Network at 9 a.m. for immediate response. The time is now 6:55 a.m.
Foodborne illnesses can happen when people eat foods that have harmful germs or chemicals. Symptoms of foodborne illnesses include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and stomach cramps. Symptoms of an illness may show up from 12 hours to 3 days later. Some groups of people, such as pregnant women, young children, older adults, and those with weak immune systems, are more at risk. To avoid getting a foodborne illness, always wash hands before preparing and eating food. Keep the food preparation areas clean and sanitized. Use clean water to...
This is the ZNS Network, providing radio and high-definition television services for the entire Bahamas. ZNS Network is operated by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. It is located at Harcourt Rusty Bethel Drive, Centerville, Nassau. Our programming is designed to inform, educate, and entertain. We invite you to join us.
The following is a preamble of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Whereas 481 years ago, the rediscovery of this family of islands, rocks and keys, heralded the rebirth of the New World. And whereas the people of this family of islands, recognizing that the preservation of their freedom will be guaranteed by a national commitment to self-discipline, industry, loyalty, unity, and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law. Now, know we therefore, we the inheritors of, and successors to this family of islands, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation, founded on spiritual values, and in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide by these articles for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
It's Monday, September 13th, 2021, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, quarantined voters given the green light to vote in Thursday's general election. A ninth grader shares her virtual learning experience. And BTBI students over in Grand Bahama reveal their challenges in this COVID environment. So let's start the morning off right. Welcome to the morning edition. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm a well-rested Charles Fisher. Had a great week. Football Sunday yesterday. Your Seattle Seahawks won yesterday. The Miami Dolphins won yesterday.
I saw that, yes.
So you had a great weekend.
I had a pretty good weekend. No, you don't want Miami Dolphins to win, but
no, I say you had a great weekend because all your teams won.
Yeah. That didn't look too genuine, but yeah, Miami Dolphins, they won. We're supposed to be celebrating.
And we're in for a busy week ahead. We're in for a busy show today. We have Eye Candy in the studio. She's going to show us with a treat. We also have Dr. Morgan in the studio this morning talking about the vaccine, so we're all ready for that. And we weren't supposed to give out a gift because all our gifts were given out, but since Eye Candy is here, and she said something about, what is it?
Eyebrow grooming.
What is that?
Eyebrow grooming. I think when you groom your eyebrows, get it nice and, you cut it, you shape it, make it look nice.
As a man, what I don't understand, women cut off all their eyebrow just to draw it back on with a pencil. What sense does that make?
Well, they're trying to be in the fashion. They want to be, amongst the fashion world. That's what you do when you want to.
Let me look close.
Yeah, I still have some hair there.
Getting some gray hair in there. That's what I was looking at, gray hair. And so, what's the question this morning? Which year did Eye Candy began operation? You could dial 502-3855. That was just a trick question we threw out there, so 502-3855. We don't want no gentlemen calling, we just want the ladies to call it, and you'll win yourself what is it?
A brow grooming.
A brow grooming.
Groom your eyebrows,
Okay, well,
you may need it as well. Men get it too. Men can get their eyes.
So let me just take a guess. Eye Candy started back in 2021.
No, I think it was possibly 2016. 2016, 2015, I don't know.
But before we get, once again, 502-3855, but before we do all that, let's check a look at the weather that's happening today. We are waking up to 81 degrees, cloudy, winds east-northeast at 5 miles per hour, humidity 83%. Now, moist and unstable air mass will continue to keep rain chances elevated across the country today. For all areas, weather partly to mostly cloudy, hot and bit breezy with widely scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms throughout tonight. Your daytime high temperature reaching 91 degrees Fahrenheit, your overnight low 72. As we look ahead to the next week ahead, Tuesday, partly sunny, a stray thunderstorm expected in the day, 90 in the day, 76 at night. Then on Wednesday, partly sunny, also same conditions, a straight thunderstorm expected in the day, 90 a day and 77 at night. And then on Thursday, Election Day, couple of morning showers, 90 in the day, 77 at night.
The weekly vaccine tracker shows that 173,130 COVID-19 vaccines have been administered across this country, 110,712 first doses, and 65,915 second doses. New Providence continues to lead COVID-19 vaccinations with 128,954 persons receiving the vaccine and 45,310 of them fully vaccinated. Now over in Grand Bahama, 23,755 have been inoculated, with 9,110 residents fully vaccinated. An office of the Prime Minister's statement this weekend announced that persons in quarantine will be able to vote in Thursday's general elections. According to the COVID-19, the emergency powers COVID-19 orders, the individual must wear a mask fitted to the face and covers the nose and mouth, maintain a distance of 6 feet from others, and sanitize their hands before entering the polling station. The release went on to say that once individuals had voted, they must immediately return to quarantine. And speaking of voters, Parliamentary Commissioner Lovato Duncanson cleared the air on reports surfacing about voters being vaccinated. He emphasized that Parliamentary Registration Department officials didn't issue any requirement that an individual needs to be vaccinated before voting.
One of the recommendations that the Ministry of Health officials made to the Parliamentary Registration Department is that the Parliamentary Registration Department personnel, poll workers, that such persons be vaccinated. That was not a mandatory requirement. It was a recommendation that persons who work within the polls, in an effort to minimize the spread of any sort of COVID-19, a recommendation was made that the poll workers be vaccinated.
Now to the latest COVID-19 statistics. 105 new COVID-19 cases, 58 women and 47 men reported on Sunday's COVID-19 dashboard. 83 cases here in New Providence, 10 in Eleuthera, 9 in Grand Bahama, and 1 new case each in Andros, Cat Island, and Crooked Island, bringing the total cases nationwide to 19,440 with 1,828 active cases. Health officials confirming that after a data cleaning exercise, 1,471 active cases have been reclassified as recovered, pushing COVID-19 recoveries to 7,028. 193 COVID-19 hospitalizations reported on Sunday, 22 persons in the intensive care unit, and 171 persons listed as moderately ill. The death of a 69-year-old male resident of New Providence on August 25th pushes the COVID-19 death toll to 454, with 10 additional deaths now under investigation. Also making news this Monday, Royal Caribbean's Odyssey of the Seas made its inaugural call on the port of Nassau on Sunday. Crew and passengers were welcomed to the Bahamas by officials from the Ministry of Tourism, Nassau Cruise Port, and United Shipping, who commemorated the moment in a short plaque exchange ceremony. Captain Per Christopherson is excited to be in the Bahamas.
So you had Anthem of the Seas there before. This ship is made a little bit different. We have 2 outer pools, so we don't have a covered pool, but we still have the beautiful solarium. So it's made to be in the Caribbean and warm waters. We took over the ship. It's the newest in Royal Caribbean Fleet. It has all the amazing things to protect the environment, the most amazing things for the guest when it comes to electronic and so on. And we're looking forward to sail to Nassau, moving forward.
Meantime, upgrades at the Nassau Cruise Port said to be progressing well as developers and cruise port officials attempt to meet with their 2022 project completion date. The project's first phase facilitates the harbor's expansion to allow a greater passenger capacity. In 2019, the Nassau Cruise Port's 5 berths allowed for a daily capacity of 20,000 passengers. But according to Cruise Port CEO Mike Mora, Nassau Harbor could be ready to facilitate a whole lot more by the end of December.
I'm happy to share that by December of this year, we would have completed our 6th berth. We would have expanded berth 1 to make that an Oasis class berth, and our daily passenger capacity will exceed 33,000 passengers in a given day. That's not it, though. What we are embarking on right now is a lot of upland waterfront development, which includes a 30,000 square foot iconic arrivals terminal.
And when we come back, we have a doctor in the house to talk about the COVID-19 vaccine, so keep it locked.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And Step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Wanda Rogers.
Hi, I'm Dr. Manish Sharma.
Hi, I'm Dr. Valencia Johnson, Director of Ambulatory Services at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the Director of Imaging at Doctors Hospital.
I'm a pediatrician here at Doctors Hospital. I am vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I am fully vaccinated against COVID. Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
Hi, I'm Dr. Bonami.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rajesh Pahawa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jazreel Thompson.
Infectious diseases physician.
I'm radiologist at Doctors Hospital.
An anesthesiologist here at Doctors Hospital.
And I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
Before we get things started, we'd like to see how things are out there traffic-wise, and we turn it over to Corporal Patrick Kemp.
Good morning, Mr. Fisher, and good morning, LaDawn. It is certainly a great day to be in the land of the living, and we should be grateful. Pretty much be in the area of Collins Avenue, 5th Terrace. And as you can tell, it is a rainy day. It has been rainy for the past couple of days, and we suspect that it's going to continue on moving forward in the next couple of days. And I want to encourage the drivers out there to continuously drive with due care and attention. There's no need to drive excessively fast on the street, especially when the streets are wet. You risk getting an accident and causing inconvenience to yourself or other road users, possibly injuries. Over the last 24 hours, we've had some 12 accidents, 4 of which were with injuries. And again, people, please drive with due care and attention. I also want to make mention to those persons who are renting those vehicles. We have a lot of persons who are renting vehicles, who are presenting their driver's license, the necessary documents to get those vehicles, and then they're handing over those vehicles to other persons to drive those vehicles, who are not in the possession of a driver's license and obviously not covered by third-party and risk insurance. I want to send a warning note to those persons to please cease and desist. That is definitely an offense. You will find yourself before the court for the driver of the vehicle at that time and the person who rented that vehicle. Again, I want to encourage the persons out there to enjoy the day, have a blessed day, and a safe day. Back to you in studios, LaDawn and Ms. Fisher.
Well, despite the increasing numbers of persons taking the COVID-19 vaccine today, many are still on the fence about doing so, and for good reason. Well, joining us in studio this morning to talk about vaccines is Dr. Narad Morgan. Good morning, and first of all, tell us about your field of study.
Well, Charles, I am a clinical medical officer in the Ministry of Health's Department of Immunology and Infectious Diseases, and I work at the HIV/AIDS Center, and my training is in immunology.
First of all, tell us, what is the importance of taking the vaccine?
Well, Charles, it is absolutely critical to take the vaccine at this time. It was critical, and it's even more critical now. Let me let you know why. We're now in a pandemic, but we now have a variant of the first COVID-19 virus, the SARS-CoV-2. So we now have the Delta variant, which is now very infectious. It's transmitted much more easier. And it's very infectious. It is actually causing more severe disease. And so we see that a lot of people now infected with the SARS-CoV-2 virus and who have COVID-19 are now becoming hospitalized. Many of them are now becoming intubated and ventilated, and a lot of them are dying now in hospital. And so this variant or this strain of COVID-19 is very lethal. And so now we know that all the vaccines we have now in country actually work against the Delta variant at various degrees, right? But what we know for sure is that all the vaccines actually prevent severity of disease, hospitalization for the most part, and eventually death. And so the vaccines ultimately are going to prevent that patient from presenting with severe disease and death.
On that note, why are some persons still getting sick after taking the vaccine?
Well, there may be many reasons for this. One of the reasons is that someone could be infected with the virus prior to getting the vaccine, and so they may start presenting symptoms after they've gotten their first jab. And so the disease plays itself out, because remember, after that first jab, you're not fully vaccinated. You have to get 2 immunizations, and then 2 weeks after the second one, you're fully vaccinated. Another thing is chronic medical illnesses. Underlying chronic medical illnesses predispose people to the disease in the first place. Obesity, pregnancy, heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, sickle cell disease, if you're immunocompromised from rheumatoid arthritis or lupus or HIV. And so these persons may not have an immune system that could mount up a response to the vaccine, and so they may be susceptible to getting the disease. Also, persons on immunosuppressive drugs, right? Older people may not mount an immune response as well as people who are probably middle-aged. And so these are all factors in which people may still get the virus if vaccine is on board. However, remember, when you get the vaccine, Charles, you can still get COVID-19, you could still transmit COVID-19, but the vaccine prevents severity of disease, hospitalization, and death. And also, what we don't think about is a field of immunology called immunogenetics. How I respond to the vaccine may be different from how you respond to the vaccine because of my genetics. So genetics determine how we recognize different germs in our system, how we clear them, and also how our body responds to various vaccines.
Now tell us, as we wrap things up here, the post-COVID syndrome, what is that now being out there?
Well, the post-COVID syndrome is a syndrome that occurs after a patient has had the acute infection with COVID-19 and they've gone through their symptoms. There seems to persist these prolonged syndromes and these prolonged symptoms. These symptoms may include fatigue, shortness of breath, chest pain, brain fog, some psychological symptoms such as anxiety and depression. And so even though the acute infection may have been done away with, and I put that in quotation marks, if you swab them, the nasal passage, they're negative, but these symptoms still persist. Right? These symptoms still persist. And this is the post-COVID syndrome. And this may be caused by chronic infection happening in the body. In fact, I read a paper the other day where the virus may actually hide in the body. We call that viral persistence or latent reservoir, just like HIV or herpes does. And so the post-COVID syndrome is very real. It occurs more frequently in patients who have had severe disease, who have been hospitalized, who have been intubated in hospital. And I always say that the worst is not over after the acute infection. There can be the post-COVID syndrome. So get the vaccine so that you don't get the acute infection, and then you don't have to contend with the post-COVID syndrome.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Morgan. So many information there. Ladon?
And in education news from the nation's second city, in addition to coping with another fall semester at the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute on Grand Bahama, students continue doing so in a COVID environment. The Associate Vice President of BTVI shares how students are faring despite those challenges. Here's Jamila Mizik.
The Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute welcoming students to the classrooms virtually since August 30th. Associate Vice President of the North, Veronica Cawley, says the Northern Campus usually makes up 20 to 30% of the institution's overall enrollment. Cawley says students are participating in an integrated learning system in conjunction with the main campus in New Providence.
Our students could be here, but still doing classes by an instructor who is teaching out of the Nassau campus. But overall, I think for BTVI, the enrollment continues to be steady. We have been even looking at enrollment in the professional development areas, so we've gotten extra persons who are interested in, things like nail tech, massage therapy, aesthetics. This year, we were quite proud to see that from the Freeport campus especially. We had so many persons who were interested in the aesthetics. And so that is something that's we've been able to offer that actually online.
Cawley adding that because of the current status of the COVID-19 pandemic, they have not yet resumed face-to-face courses at this time.
You might ask, well, you're talking about technical courses, how that works. What we do is the first half of the semester, we are using a lot of simulation, meaning that the students get to experience what's in a regular technical area while they're working through their theory. And then after the midterm goes by, we actually do the practical, but we have them come at different times so that we actually honor what's going on with the social distancing. So they do get to do some hands-on, but that is done mainly after we have finished with the first half of the semester.
Now, Cawley notes that Bahamian students who qualify are still eligible for government scholarships to attend BTVI.
We offer scholarships through the government. Once they join and they're able to register in 2 or more classes, we can offer scholarship for most of the programs. And when we say most of the programs, right now we've just also had persons from West Grand Bahama who did a what we call a special interest. They did nail tech and barbering, and those were covered fully by the government. So yes, most of the programs. And our professional development, though, most times they are short courses where we offer, say somebody wants to do get a little knowledge about computers, they can do that for about 10 weeks. Those are not really fully covered by the scholarship program, so professional development would be different.
And the Associate Vice President says they're looking forward to their students returning to campus soon.
With the COVID-19, we don't get to see the students on the campus the way we would. And I really would like to say we miss them. Sometimes just knowing that they're here made a difference. So we look forward to things changing, hopefully. But the online, like I said, we've tried to make it as realistic as possible. So our teachers have been trained to work with the online environment so that it doesn't be as mundane that, the way people think it might be using the online environment.
Grade-A student of Kingsway Academy, Shania Pinder, is taking 13 courses this semester in a virtual learning environment. The 9th grader is among thousands of students across this country engaged in virtual courses due to the threat of the coronavirus, and boasts about her experience so far.
I am taking all of the standard classes, and I am taking food, nutrition, and needlework. Being on virtual itself isn't really difficult because I know how to use the computer and the internet. But for children younger than me who are home with their grandparents and stuff, they don't really know how to do that. Also, making sure that you get your assignments in, and if the internet drops or something, that's really stressful. So it's a work in progress.
Despite being adapted to virtual learning, Shania says there are still a few setbacks.
I haven't really been experiencing any challenges, but while I'm doing virtual, I have to work around my parents' schedules. So I do virtual a lot in the car. That mobile data is coming in. That's coming in to save me. So while I'm doing it in the car, I would have the camera on me and my books in my hand while we're driving to get through that.
All the best to Shania. And as we head to the break, we take a look back at today in Bahamian history. In 1932, the new St. Joseph School was blessed and dedicated. And in 2001, on the same day, demolition of the remains of the downtown straw market were initiated, and an inquiry into the cause and response to the fire began.
The Dixon Hill Lighthouse on San Salvador to let you know that marine protected areas make dollars and cents. A well-designed and managed network of protected areas can generate income for nearby communities. From MPA managers to lodges to eco-tours, there is money to be made.
Healthy marine ecosystems help to protect our islands from climate change and other impacts that we cannot control. Healthy coral reefs help to break down fake waves, and mangroves absorb storm surge.
Well, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. It's time to lighten things up and turn our attention to making up your face as election fever is in the air. But joining us live in studio this morning is our MUA and the proprietor and owner of Eye Candy Studios, Italia Wilson. Italia, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Yes, thank you, LaDawn. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Italia, talk us a little bit about the paintings that you were able to make as a result of the upcoming election.
Well, so this is something I started, as a matter of fact, from last election, where I did, I think last election, I did like two, maybe, I think it was a PLP and an F&M. But this year I said, you know what, we have so many more parties running, I think almost 15 or so. I didn't get to do 15 or so, but I said, let me just focus on at least, 4 or 5. And I did the F&M, the PLP, I did the coalition, and I did the DNA. And so they're the looks that I came up with for, I don't know, for election people.
What products can you say, I guess, you actually used to actually embark on this face painting venture?
Okay, so for these looks, what I did do was a combination of makeup application and face painting. So I start out with these looks with regular foundation, makeup, highlight, contour, glow, etc. And then I add the artsy parts of it with face paint, the black, the gold. I use a gold pigment for this particular look. That's up, well, it just went by. The one for the PLP, I did the a gold pigment along with the black paint. For the Coalition of Independence, again, a lot of painting, blues, the Independence colors, country colors, I use those paints. And then for the PLP, back to the PLP look, I also did a cutout, sorry guys, I did a cutout of one of the bags, and I took their logo of the hand, and I just placed it in the center of my forehead using adhesive, just to make the look, you know, fabulous.
How receptive can you say Bahamians have been not only to the political parties' faces, but face paintings in the past?
Well, in the past, definitely, it's been a thing. We see them at sporting events. We see them for any type of event where people are allowed to kind of express themselves. And face painting is definitely a way that people like to express themselves. And they do come to us, whether it's getting their lips glittered, or maybe just a little small slogan or a logo on the side of the face or the center of the forehead, or even on the arm. People definitely go for it. They love it. They love being able to express themselves through their makeup.
Talk us a little bit more about the Coalition and the F&M face painting paintings.
So the Coalition, and in fact, LaDawn, what I'd say, all of the looks were really inspired by Pinterest artist that he creates face painting, or they call them face sheets. And so I saw the face sheets, and they had different colors, and I saw the political groups, and I was like, you know what? I could add a little something here and there just to kind of make it more, you know, native and more, you know, more relevant to our political parties. So that's what I did. Based on these face charts, I went to town and just added my little flair there, here and there.
So I know we had a winner who guessed the year. One second, yes. I'll tell you the actual answer. The person that guessed the right answer, her name is Rudell Stubbs.
Okay, Stubbs, congrats.
She actually guessed when Eye Candy officially opened, and I guess you can give us the answer.
Yeah, so the official opening of Eye Candy was 2007, and I say official because those of you who know me know I've been doing makeup for a very long time. And so part-time, I did this, started like back in 1999 or so. And we say official because that's when we got our business license, and we were formal, and we were a real business. Yeah, so it's congratulations to you, Ms. Stubbs.
Thank you so much, Natalia, for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you, LaDawn.
Thank you so much. The sound of Bahamian music has changed, and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture has taken notice. Recently, a flyer was released for the upcoming Show Me the Music concert list of performing artists. Our intern, Dudley Turnquest, caught up with one of the featured artists to get his thoughts on the concert.
Local music artist Rashad Ferguson, who performs under the stage name Shad Fur, believes it's time to end the idea that it's surprising that Bahamians can make good art. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture announced the lineup for the upcoming Show Me Music concert, and Shad Fur is one of the featured artists on the lineup.
There's this whole culture in the Bahamas where people are always like, oh, that's a Bahamian, when it sounds good, or when they see someone that they enjoy, no matter what kind of entertainment it is, they're like, wow, I can't believe that was a Bahamian. And we're trying to crush that stigma. There's so much talent that's here, and I feel honored that I get to be a part of these conversations and these events.
Fur says that he has a variety of inspirations, both local and international, including the likes of Ronnie Butler, Sweet Emily, KB, and Michael Jackson, but reinforces that his main inspiration at the moment comes from the artists around him.
These people from now, the higher social order of things and established entities and groups here are taking time to pay attention to the underground people, the up-and-coming people, the people that are working on their craft, and even the people that we consider mainstream are still people that deserve attention. So this event has given so many people a chance to finally show what they've been working on for a long time.
When asked how he found himself being invited to be a part of the concert, Fur had a few people he wanted to thank.
Dyson, Tyson Knight contacted me directly to be a part of it, but at the same time, I heard he did it on the recommendation of another performer named Tornash, and I wanted to thank him for that. Didn't get a chance to, so thank you to Dyson, thank you to Tornash and everyone involved, because a lot of my friends are a part of it, and so it felt right.
You can find him on Twitter and Instagram at Shad Fur to stay up to date with the artists leading up to the concert.
I love it, but I love the people around me right now because they inspire me so much. Like, I get to see them live, and they've made me better just being around them. So pretty much all those people you see on the list.
Such a talented artist. And be sure to stay tuned to the ZNS Network for news as it happens, TV and radio updates throughout the day. Then you can tune into the Northern Edition at 6:30 and the Bahamas tonight at 7. And that's a wrap for us this morning. For the entire team, I'm LaDon David. Have a great morning, everyone.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.